Hello and welcome to Artisan Cube Draft. I've been drafting this. It came out on Magic Online like literally 10 seconds ago, so I didn't really read what it is, but it looks to be an uncommon cube, which is something I'm interested in. And it's running things like Good Fortune Unicorn Goblin Bombardment, so it could be a synergy-based uncommon cube, which again is everything I'm about. So I probably will be drafting this a lot if it plays well. And what do I take here? It's been a while since I've drafted a format like this. I feel like Goblin Bombardment in a deck that, or a format that like supports it, is just unbelievably strong. So that's a good first pick. Warhammer's good. Remand is good. Evolving Wilds helps you stay open. Legacy's Allure is good, but I'm honestly a big fan of the Bombardment, and having a deck based around it is good. Like basically any deck that is trying to do sacrifice things, this is the best enabler for it. So I think it makes sense to just have this card to start out with, and then if we don't end up playing it, that's okay. But in a synergy cube, I think you want to take enablers first. Again, I'm kind of assuming that it is synergy based, but you kind of have to do that for uncommon cube too. Enchanted creature is flying. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, draw a card, then discard a card. That does quite a bit actually. Okay, so we have the tapped triomes, which are good. We do have good burn. I think burn in uncommon cubes are like peasant is generally one of the stronger strategies. We do have the Mog War Marshal to go with the bombardment. So if we think we're going to go all in on the sack stuff, we can do this. I think this has a decent chance of coming around. Chain Lightning is kind of just a messed up card, so I might just end up taking Chain Lightning here. And then if we will, Graveshifter, Firebolt, or Mog War Marshal, all of those are going to be happy. I just don't think there's really any chance that the Mog comes around. Weaponize the monster. Sacrifice a creature. Does 2 damage to anything. Rugged Highlands, if we want to go red-green. I think there are some green token things going on, so that's an option. Bestow, Coiling Oracle, Vulture's Aven. Whenever it exploits a creature, you draw 2 cards and lose 2 life. So I think black-red is probably the sack outlet. We could take Weaponize the Monsters to have more enablers. This one is a bit more expensive, but 2 damage is a lot as well. Let's see what happens. Let's see what this whole sacrifice theme is about. We have all the enablers. Ooh, Undead Augur is a good one. I think I'm gonna take City of Brass. Make sure I can cast my spells. Then we can take the Augur. I think Aether Chaser. Whenever this attacks, you can pay 2 and make a token. Could also be good. Filigree Familiar is good, but we're probably going to end up splashing something. So make sure we can cast. Whenever this exploits a creature, create 2 zombies. Ooh, Heroic Reinforcements is interesting. That does work well. We can be like red-white token plus sack. So that's interesting. I like Windscarred Crag. Guard of the Bloodflame is good. Weaver of Lightning is good. Oh, Shower of Coals is such a good card. If you have Threshold, it does 4 damage to each of up to 3 targets, which is like, that's so much damage. I like Reinforcements. Guard is okay. I don't know what to take here. Part of me wants to take Windscarred Crag, but I don't want that many tap lands. Part of me thinks the Cat Demon that makes 2 zombies is probably where I want to be. I think I'm just going to go for that. This is like a creature kill. It's a weird Grave Titan. It's a Cat Demon. It's got a cool hat. What else do you need, really? Okay. Not seeing a whole lot. I mean, a Braid is tempting. It's just a good card. Cast Down kills pretty much anything. So maybe I want that, especially non-legendary in an uncommon cube. Like, that's going to be almost every single card. We could move into red burn, take Thermal Alchemist. This card is very good. And we could just get rid of our, first couple picks. Because this card is just ridiculously strong. Whether you're going Goblin Bombardment Sack or, anything else. Actually, for that reason, I think I'm going to take a Braid. Like, I probably would end up playing Cast Down, but right now, I have all red cards and just 1 black card that I may or may not play, so taking a Braid keeps us open the most. Searing Blaze is quite good in cubes like this. They're very creature-based, so we could still end up going into burn. I like the Pyromancer. Manipulator is one of my favorite cards too, but I think I'm going to take Searing Blaze here. And now we can start feeling what's open. Ecstatic Awakener does signal that there is, the red-black sacrifice archetype. This card is just very good. Vampire Sovereign's insane. Each opponent loses 3 life, you gain 3 life. I like that. And then the rest. Jetting Glass Guide is it's like one of the best finishers. It has, like, they have to target it twice to kill it. It's also just a 6 mana 4/4 flyer, like that's huge. I'm between the Awakener and the Vampire Sovereign. I think I'm gonna take the Awakener just because it thematically fits better with what we're doing. Fire Imp is good. It does 2 damage and then you can sacrifice it, so it's a good body. The Shield Breaker kills artifacts. I did see Signet, so that could be something. And then there's also Evolving Wilds if I want to just have good mana. Entering tapped is kind of a big cost, but I think I'm just going to take it. Okay, and this was the pack with Mog War Marshal, which is not here anymore. Or whatever that guy is. The 2-drop that makes a goblin. So him not being in the pack is kind of unfortunate. Whenever a creature dies, you may reveal cards until you reveal a creature card that shares a card type with it. Put it into your hand. So Cat, Demon, Human, Wizard. If I end up with a lot of similar creature types, I could take Heirloom Blade. I'll speculate on that. I could see it being good at some point. If no spells were cast, this becomes a 3/2. This is a 1-mana 2/1 that can bestow onto creatures. I mean, it really depends on how aggressive we're going to be. I think I do just have options to going into green-red, I think is where I'm supposed to be. Ardent Elementalist is good, though. So I think I may try and transition my deck into green-red, because this, like, all these cards look very open to me. Whenever you discard a card, exile a card from your graveyard. Don't think I'm doing that. So, yeah, I don't know if these things are open. Oh boy, then I opened Carrion Feeder, Murderous Redcap, Tragic Slip. I mean, Murderous Redcap is going to go in the most types of decks, I guess. I already have quite a few sack outlets. Whether I end up in green-red, black-red, Murderous Redcap will be a decent card in my deck. So this is the pick that stays open. Carrion Feeder, again, helps, but I already have 2 sack outlets, Weaponize the Monsters and Bombardment, so getting a 3rd one before getting payoffs doesn't really help. Like, I don't have any tokens or anything. So we're going to take the red cap and then see what wheels. We could also, like, Lava Serpent is surprisingly a good card too. So if we were more confident about the red-green prediction, we could move into that. Acolyte in the Inferno. Whenever this becomes blocked by a creature, it deals 2 damage to that creature. So it's just very hard to block. Trumpeting Herd. That's a really good one. Lightning Helix, Merfolk, Branchwalker, and all that. But Trumpeting Herd plus Burn is, like, very hard to deal with. That's just so much card advantage. Yeah, I'm going to take the Trumpeting Herd. I think, well, let me see. Poison the Cup, destroy target creature. This spell is foretold, scry 2. Wow, that's really good as well. So as far as black cards go, it's really... I mean, neither of these are really super great. This adds black and some other color. Talking myself out of it, because this is double green. I don't necessarily want that. I'm just going to take Poison the Cup. It's a really good card. Ooh, Gut Shot. Bounce lands are pretty much an auto pickup that also helps with... if we do splash green and black, that could help. Farfinder is also great. That is fixing and a creature to sacrifice. It's a box. A lot of cool things. Eldest Reborn, Thriving Isle. I think I gotta take the bounce land. It's double off colored, but bounce lands are just unbelievably strong in formats like this. I'm gonna take it. Ooh, Ash Barrens, Magmatic Sinkhole, Heraldic Banner, Skittering Surveyor. I actually think I like the Surveyor more than Ash Barrens for the same reason as I talked about last time. It is a body for bombardment and things like that. There's also Read the Bones, but we don't really know what colors we're in just yet. We're gonna get a better idea as the things go on. I like Burst Lightning, Simmerdrift Veil, just a tapped land of any color. Okay, kind of cool. Yeah, we're gonna take Burst Lightning, although Reassembling Skeleton. Actually, I gotta take this. I think now we're kind of moving into actually having this archetype be open. We have some good enablers. Skeleton just gives us the late game, right? Now, with Weaponize the Monsters or anything like that. Ooh, Pawn of Ulamog? Oh, it's unfortunate. We have Vivid Crag, Bone Splitter, and Goblin Bushwhacker in the same pack. But, like, whenever it or another non-token creature you control dies, you just make an Eldrazi Scion, and then you just sacrifice those to do damage. That's gotta be good. You basically just turn all your creatures into a machine gun. Okay. I'm more happy with how this deck is going now. Whenever opponent casts an instant or sorcery spell, they lose 1 life. Ooh, Skullport Merchant, yes. Sacrifice a creature or a treasure, draw a card. Yeah, I like that. And it makes a treasure when it enters as well. So basically it's a 3-mana 1/4 that you can, like, turn into a card. And then you can get more value. I'm gonna take Dismember, I think. I don't really have the mana for Crypt Rats. Animate Dead's alright. Nesty Nasp I actually like, but getting better removal helps. Right now we have Poison the Cup, Abrade, Searing Blaze, Dismember, Chain Lightning. So we're actually doing okay on removal. I don't think I'm playing Savage Swipe. So now we're looking for more creatures that make tokens, basically 2-drops that I can sacrifice easily, or 1-drops. The Carrion Feeder came around, as did Tragic Slip. So, okay, black is now open. The question is, what am I doing? Carrion Feeder's like, alright. It does protect my dudes. It's probably good. It is just like a decent 1-drop creature. When this enters the battlefield, if at least 3 mana of the same color was spent to cast it, draw a card. So that's somewhat tempting. This card just hard counters white. Don't quite know why these cards are in here. I've never found them to be particularly fun. Either they don't do anything, or they're just like really unfun. But that's okay. I think I'm just gonna take the Clockwork Serpent. It's fun. Ooh, Farfinder is much better. I like that. Clockwork Serpent is like the opposite, or Servant, like the opposite of Farfinder, where like you need to be specifically monocolored for this to be good. This is the exact opposite. It's good regardless of whatever color you're in. So that's an upgrade. Wretched Grip is interesting. Priest of Ancient Lore, if I can get the mana, is also like exactly what I'm looking for. Heraldic Banner is fine. Take the Priest. Sky March Aspirant. Ooh, Bone Splitter. Okay. I like that. I think I've figured it out. I don't think people in my draft quite know what they're doing. Myself somewhat including. I don't think this is an Heirloom Blade deck. Goblin Assassin. Human Shaman. I mean, I have a couple humans, I think. Ooh, Eternal Taskmaster. Doomed Traveler would be good in this deck. Oh my gosh, they have Isochron Scepter. This card, oh yeah, and Counterspell. Wow, the full combo's in the same pack. That's insane. Taskmaster is a 2-mana 2/3 zombie. Whenever it attacks, you can get creatures back. If you can start going off with this card, it's very good. And I think my deck pretty much needs things like that. I like Heartless Act and all of those cards too, but I need cards that basically give me, or like bring back creatures. I have the sack outlets, have all those synergies, but I need things that get back creatures, or things like Farfinder, creatures that I'm fine sacrificing. I don't have enough of those. Phyrexian Gargantua. 6 mana 4/4, draw 2 cards and lose 2 life is good. Terramorphing Expanse, Elvish Visionary. I mean, Visionary is exactly the type of card I'm looking for. Beginning of each upkeep, if no spells were cast, transform it. So it's a 1 mana 1/1 haste that becomes a 2/2 menace. That one's decent too. Is there any hope of me splashing this Visionary? I have Farfinder, Evolving Wilds, Rot Farm, City of Brass. Yeah, actually, there is some hope. Ooh, Zulapart Cutthroat. That is a good one. I have to pass a Dragon Fodder, but I'm hoping Dragon Fodder comes around. It's not super likely someone would want it, right? Famous last words. Jataxian Probe I could just play as like a free spell. Because I'm not playing any of these other cards. And seeing your opponent's hand does matter. Okay, so I have a lot of things. We need more creatures, right? I'm not playing these. Clockwork Serpent is a maybe. Serpent, whatever. Pilgrim's Eye is good. Kitesail Freebooter is good. The rest are there. I think I'm going to take Pilgrim's Eye. This makes my mana situation quite a bit better. Maybe I can get in this Clockwork Servant. And now I actually kind of wish I had more expensive stuff, because everything I have costs 2. So like ramping into Pilgrim's Eye isn't exactly the thing we had in mind, but it's really good with Gravecaller and all of that. Ooh, Fight with Fire, Murderous Cut, Archway Commons, just adds mana of any color. Rimrock Knight helps pump our team. What does this do? If it's neither day or night, it becomes day. But +1/+1 counter target creature you control when day and night switch. That is some beautiful artwork. That's really what drew me in. I don't really think I'm getting mana for Fight with Fire. I'm just going to take this Murderous Cut. We just have all the removal now. When this enters the battlefield, create 2 2/2 green wolf creature tokens. I'm going to take the black-red tapped land. Midnight Haunting. Ooh, this might be what I want. Create an XX. Oh, this just makes 1 token. Okay. Maybe not. Savage Lands actually just helps with all of my mana, right? Yes. So now I can play green relatively easily. Kitchen Finks. Doomed Traveler would be good in this deck, and I do have a Windscarred Crag. I think I'm just going to take the kitchen finks though. Then we can take, honestly, at this point, I could even splash a treasure cruise. This card going this late is kind of ridiculous, but I'll take it. I don't know if I'm playing it, but we have the Pilgrim's Eye, Farfinder, Evolving Wilds, City of Brass, so like we have the capability of doing it. And then if I am serious about Treasure Cruise, Quandrix Campus is pretty good. Goblin Heel Cutter helps us be more aggressive though, and that's probably... This card's very, very good. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, this deals 1 damage to each opponent. I have a lot of those, but I think I'm gonna take Prismari Campus. Ooh, Timely Reinforcements. That's actually... If we can set this up properly, that's going to be ridiculously good in this deck. I don't know if I'm going to play it at least in the main deck, but if I'm playing against an opponent with... Oh, that's perfect, actually. Now I think I can play kind of whatever I want. Right? This just adds mana of any color? Yeah. If the cube is slower, I think we're golden. What are we doing here, though? I think we're like sacrifice control, so I don't think I'm playing Bone Splitter. Probably not playing this Carrion Feeder, actually. We're looking for bigger and better things. Probably not Goblin Heel Cuttering. I am tempted to run Spectral Procession. For now, I mean, I think Timely Reinforcements is going to end up better for our deck. Probably not playing this. Poison the Cup goes here. Reckless Waif is a no. I like Ecstatic Awakener, I think. This is a very weird deck. We're really leaning hard on Pilgrim's Eye, Farfinder. I have all three. Yeah, okay. I can splash anything. What? Anything is within my grasp. Maybe Searing Blaze is a bit difficult to cast, and then I run 16 land. Do I want Windscarred Crag? Yes, I guess so. And I guess I also want Prismari Campus, so that we have somewhat fixing. We only got 1 bounce land, which is unfortunate. A single plains can help Timely Kitchen Figs. A single island is just for Treasure Cruise. Right now I have 1, 2, 3 blue sources. This puts it up much higher. I actually don't even know if I'm running island. I think we could just get the blue off Prismari Campus and City of Brass Archway Commons. That's 3 blue sources for Treasure Cruise, which is more of a late game card. Well, let's see what this mana looks like. So right now we have 1, 2... Or let's count black sources. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's not bad. Red sources, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Actually, we have a 10-8 mana base with black-red, and we still have time for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blue. And all of these are effectively +3 because of these dudes. Green, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, this meta is actually not terrible. I am partially tempted to run 17 lands, but I think we're okay with 16. I'm just gonna run it like this. See you guys, round 1. Alright, we're playing against Beta 69. We're going first. I have fun. Hey, you too. I don't know what's going on with my keyboard, but I guess that's what it is. Okay, we are doing this. I think I'm gonna keep. I can foretell Poison the Cup, and then I can scry too. This card is ridiculous. I mean, it costs 4 total mana, but that's not bad. Okay, they're playing blue-green. If I draw any land, I'm definitely just getting Eternal Taskmaster up. If I draw Rishkashka Death Dealer, I'm still gonna just play this. I think attacking them is worthwhile. If I miss on lands, I'm drawing spells, and I'm gonna be able to Poison the Cup into lands eventually. Oh no. It's my favorite card, the Hoopu! Oh my gosh, this card is so much fun. Well, I don't hit a land. But we're going to kill the Hoopu probably on my upkeep and then scry for a land. Although, I think I'm actually better off waiting because if I do hit a land, I can just cast Farfinder and, you know, all my mana woes are solved. At least for now. Opponent's doing the good stuff. They could be holding up counters. Okay, this is ridiculous. Let's attack for 2. And I think I'm just going to kill the Hoopu on their upkeep. Or if they cast a spell right now. Either one. Yeah, I'll kill this now. Bro. Where are my lands? I know like I'm running like a wide array of colored sources, but I am still running 16 lands. Like, it's not super impossible for me to hit a land drop here. Okay, they don't have any plays. Oh my gosh. Opponent has 5 mana, I have none. I'm gonna get hit by a flash creature here. No? Okay. I mean, if they have no plays, that's good. Clearly they have, like, something. Oh, that's really good for me. I mean, I need to draw a land in the next turn, basically, because they could just play, like, a big 6-drop and kill me. Oh, okay. They have all spells in hand. Land. This is unreal. Well, of all the draws, that one's not bad. At least that one, if they counter it, goes back. Okay. Ooh. Ooh. Remand was the most disgusting situation. I guess at this point I'm on trade with Brinebort Cutthroat. And I just discard Reassembling Skeleton. This is one of the most unreal mana screws I've had in a while. I mean, I'm still on 2 lands, but we scryed 2 to the bottom and I've been through 12 cards. And if we draw a red source, like this turn, we could still be in it for a braid. Oh, Dismember helps too. I'm gonna attack and see if they do anything here. Because I need to kill this. And we're going to use Dismember to do that most likely. Or we're gonna at least try. The hope is that they get greedy, yeah. If they have a counterspell on top of this, then we're in trouble, but... Okay, well, now we're dead. I mean, I wasn't winning anyway, but like, you get into situations like this where you're in such a dire situation that you just have to assume your plays are going to work out. They reveal counterspell, we're dead. You just have to assume your plays are going to work out because your opponent... Like, you're not going to win if they don't. We get to make a lot of sideboarding, though. We get to cut this. I think we're just going more aggressive now. I like Reckless Waif. I like Carrion Feeder. I like Bone Splitter. And even like Clockwork Servant. They're going to see my deck and be like, this is not at all what we played against. So we're not playing white anymore. So I don't need that. I could cut green. I think I'm going to get rid of Skittering Surveyor. Actually, the 1-2 is more important, I think. I can cut Treasure Cruise, which lets me get rid of blue, red. And now things are much faster. I like Gitaxian Probes still. I think I still like Searing Blaze, but we'll see. I need to add some lands here. 1-1. Yeah, I would like to see the math on like the odds of what just happened happening. Let's do that. I think 15 lands, I need to make another cut, which will be... I have quite a lot of removal. So maybe it's going to be one of my removal spells. Because they just have all counter magic and I want to be proactive. And I think I want another red. Because I do have red spells I would like to cast turn 1. Okay. Much better, much more reasonable. Let's see if I can actually cast my spells. Sure. Keep this. I mean, we have Weaponized the Monster's Reassembling Skeleton against a deck that showed mostly counter magic. So again, if we draw lands, we're in business. But at least we have all of our color sources now. And they mulliganed. Nice. Okay, preordained. Their deck looks sweet. I'm kind of digging it. And let's see how they preordained. 2 cards on top. Okay. Let's just play Eternal Taskmaster first. This is more pressure in play. I might be able to bait them with counter spells because I'm not going to be activating Weaponize the Monsters for a while. So I might be able to bait them with counter magic on that in the future. They might also flash in that dude who like grows when I cast spells on their turn or when they cast spells on my turn. I don't really want to cast Weaponize the Monsters. I don't want to get Reassembling Skeleton remanded, so I think I just pass. Yes, that's what I figured. Because basically, here's how this plays out. If they have counter magic, they just counter my Braid or my Weaponize the Monsters, and that's not good. But now they don't have counter magic available, so I can kill this thing, get value out of my removal, and then now they still need to affect the board before my Eternal Taskmaster kills them. If I play like Reassembling Skeleton, they counter it, then they cast that guy, and then they hold up counter magic on my turn. That's how you start falling behind in these matchups. Yeah, now if they're just evoking Muldrift on their turn, I get a turn to hardcast Goblin Heel Cutter, probably. Ooh, this is even better. Show me what's going on over there. Ninja, Mr. Even, Frilled Mystic, negate Mother of Runes. Okay. So they have negate, so I do kind of want to cast Weaponize the Monsters, but they're just going to play Mistraven next turn on my Goblin Heel Cutter. So I think what we're going to do is attack for 2. Yeah, I don't want to give that, just set them open to Mistraven plus Ninja. We do that, we play the Skeleton, play City of Brass, we play Weaponize the Monsters. And it's weird how good your deck can be when you actually have spells. Or mana. So now we can dismember the Mistraven. Or just kill it with Weaponize the Monsters, I guess. Interesting. They're going with Talisman. Build Mystic is a 3-2, right? Okay. And they played their island, I think. This is wild. They're literally just holding up Negate. Like, I know their hand exactly. Oh, they could cast Mother of Runes, I guess, but that doesn't make sense. I don't understand their play, but I'm not going to complain about it. Go Plains, dash Goblin Heel Cutter. They can't negate this. I know their hand. What is going on? He cannot block. So Heel Cutter goes to hand. I don't know. Maybe I'm supposed to just cast the Heel Cutter, but basically they're going to Mistraven. Maybe they want Mistraven plus negate. I know their hand exactly again. Now they have Frilled Mystic. Okay. Let's attack again. I'm not going to let them Frilled Mystic me. We have Weaponized the Monsters, so we could just do that. Play land, pass turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This enters, they can counter a thing. We can do... I could just kill them, right? They have Frilled Mystic gone, Mistraven Ninja Negate. I could do 2 to their face, get my guy back, do 2 to their face. Yeah, they just die. Okay, you could do whatever you want. Yeah, I'll just take the hit. It's whatever. So we know their hand exactly now. Okay, sacrifice the thing, do 2. Bring back my guy. Sacrifice him to do 2. Okay, there we go. So their deck, I mean, I'm seeing a bit more reasons why I would want Murderous Cut now, especially on the draw. Now that I've seen their deck, they have a lot of like tempo creatures and things like that. Part of me wants to bring back Searing Blaze. Also, the 2/3 on Clockwork Servant is oddly relevant, but it is really unlikely that I ever actually activate that. So I think I'm just gonna make that switch. And I could bring back Treasure Cruise on the draw. It's a really, really good card, but it really messes up my mana. I have to run blue. So I would cut... Poison the Cup's good. Pawn of Ulamog is the most suspicious card that I have. I think we're okay. Well, we get another no lands hand. This is definitely a mulligan. Oh no. If we draw a land, this hand is unbelievably good. But this dies unless we pay 1 and this bounces to hand. So we effectively are keeping a no-lander, going to 5. What is with... I'll keep this. I guess I put back Plains Mountain? Or just Pilgrim's Eye? But I need Pilgrim's Eye. I'm putting back Plains Mountain. This deck does not like me. I can tell you that much. So we can fetch... I keep City of Brass because I have a double black card here and I didn't have any black lands. Keep. Okay, I'll cast a turn 1 Reckless Waif, I guess. Becomes a 3/2, which is fairly good against the mono counterspells deck. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I need an untapped land very badly. Please, deck. Please. No, not like this. Don't punish me too hard. Okay, we get to abrade that. City of Brass is the worst card to play with on Magic Online. We get to kill that. They get a bounce land, which is not good, but we get to do this. We have mana at a great cost, but we actually are able to hit mana. And again, these problems were not colored mana. I know the colored mana in my deck is ambitious. These problems were just hitting like actual land counts, which is not exactly something that is easily fixable. Let's attack for 3. Or that is going to happen even in a monocolored deck. I'll play the Carrion Feeder. They might counter it. Remand doesn't really do much though. And they didn't have the flash creature, which is good news for me. They can Mistraven. They can Preordain. Yeah, getting this out of Mold of 5 is going to be tough, but their deck is very reactive, and 3/2 is a lot for them to deal with. Okay, prismatic lens. All right, let's fetch. And we don't have any double red. Oh, there's still a plains in my deck? Uh-oh. Look at a mountain. Maybe my deck is just punishing me for the way I behaved. Okay, there's our forest. So I can let Reckless Wave flip again. Let's attack and see what happens. Because if they flash in the 2-1 and just like block Reckless Wave, then that's fine. Okay, they're just taking it. I'm very tempted to just not play a single spell here and flip my dude. Right? Because they could just have Remand. If I play a thing into Remand, that's... I mean, it's not the end of the world, actually. I think I'm going to wait. They don't have any spells. If they double spell on their turn, then I'm in trouble. But again, their deck is very reactive. And if they double spell on their turn, then they're probably going to be tapped out. And then I can Pawn of Ulamog Pilgrim's Eye. Oh, that's a problem. That's a really big problem. Okay. I need Dismember like immediately. And for them to not have negate. Red cap is interesting. If they're just holding up negate, Murder's Red Cap can kill the Murmuring Mystic, so I'm just going to go for that. We're entering the territory where we're not going to win, so we may as well make plays and just hope. Right? They've shown negate, they've shown some things. Either way, Remand is going to get us. But if they're just holding up negate, this is really good. Also, I'm not sure why this doesn't show that it has damage right now. Why is this not showing that it has damage? Okay, it does. Wow, am I gonna kill this? Have to exile my red cap. They make a token, sure. Oh, that was a mistake. I have Carrion Feeder. Well, that was definitely a mistake. That worked out. I mean, it could have been better. I could have a 2-2 and then a 1-1 and they would have no bird. And that's a problem. Although, honestly, it's not that bad. Take one in the air. I get to go Pilgrim's Eye into Pawn of Ulamog. I have Chain Lightning. Pilgrim's Eye. Grabbing Swamp. Play the Swamp. Play the Pawn. And I can attack with Carrion Feeder because I can sacrifice Pilgrim's Eye. Yeah, I could sacrifice a bunch of things to kill the Jetting Glaskite. I definitely attacked wrong though. That's 100%. Or didn't attack, but I should have sacked my dude in response to Path to Exile. Okay, I'm just gonna get in for the 1 right now because I'm going to block the 4-4 with Pilgrim's Eye most likely. They name green, so they could have like a Frilled Mystic. Okay, they're just holding back. This transforms, that's good. Oh, the Heel Cutter is excellent. Target of a spell or ability. Actually, Heel Cutter's not that good. But I think I still go for this. I'd rather have them counter Heel Cutter than some other stuff. Okay. I'm feeling like they have negate. That's the way they're playing. Murmuring Mystic with protection, Jetting Glaskite, not countering Goblin Heel Cutter. Like, negate makes the most sense to me. So I don't think I'm going to just like suicide my Heel Cutter into the Jetting Glaskite because they could just negate my Chain Lightning. So I think it's just Carrion Feeder. Alright, and with this, we are going to, I think, sacrifice this Pilgrim's Eye. Always yes to this. Very strange plays by the opponent, but they just have a 4-4 in play. They just draw a Talisman, okay. We just draw a Swamp. So, yeah, let's just get it a big hit, right? This is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Dash this again, see what happens here. Okay, that just goes through. Now I can Chain Lightning the Jetting Glaskite, and then they can't block with anything. And they can't negate this either. Okay. You can't block. This is wild. I'm gonna sack this to do an extra damage. They go to 2. And I'll hold this land in hand, I guess. Actually, there's nothing they can do. I don't know. They seem very dead to me. Guardian of the Guild Pack, protected from monocolored. Swamp. No, it's not quite lethal. Right, because this doesn't hit for 2. So I guess I pass turn. But now they need an answer to the Predator and the Heel Cutter. That's a lot of mana though. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of mana. Okay. That doesn't actually, they're just dead right now. Alright, I'll take that. Oh, I could just do that as well, but this makes more fun. Do this. Swing out. Titan Rex can't block. They die. GG's. See you guys round 2. Alright, we're playing against Cianci. Another one-lander. We're on the draw. I'm going to keep this hand. We have like a lot of things going for us. Probe can draw us into things. We're on the draw. We have Weaponize the Monsters, Chain Lightning, Dismember. So we have removal. We're playing against blue-green again. Interesting. And we're just going to hit lands and it's going to be fine. Please? What is wrong with this deck? Yeah, let's just gain some life. I don't want to know what they like. Basically, the longer you can wait to Gitaxian Probe, the better it is. The information doesn't help me too much now because I'm just going to play this tap land 99% of the time anyway. By waiting a turn, I get to see one card deeper and I just have more solid information on what's going on in their deck. Watcher for tomorrow. Okay. If I can, I would like to kill that with like a Goblin Bombardment type thing. Let opponent, good luck, have fun. Gotta remember these things. So now they're already up a card. I draw a land? No. Come on, deck. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you, deck? Alright, they have Glimmerpoint Stag, Farfinder, Overwhelmed Archivist, and Tristani's Summoner. And I did not draw a land. So, given they have a Glimmerpoint Stag, do I want to take 2? Overwhelmed Archivist, draw and discard. I don't want them blinking this, so I think I'm just going to kill this now. Also, what is wrong with my deck? They get a card into hand. They draw Forest we know about. They play Farfinder we know about. Alright, we're going to draw a land. We're going to have a Braid available. Everything is going to be fine. Alright. I'm a bit worried about Tristani's Summoner, but I think we just have to go with Weaponize the Monsters into Golgari Rot Farm. Would have been good last turn, but that's okay. We're playing for the long game. And we are going to have to answer that Summoner eventually. They drew Plains for turn. So they're just going to play the Stag. Ooh, that's pretty good. They've been drawing pretty well. We draw a Swamp. So I think it's going to be like Visionary. If we draw an untapped land, I may wait on Windscarred Crag. We draw Savage Lands. I think I'm going to play Swamp untapped. I think I have to hold up Dismember to kill Elite Guard Mage in case they blink it. Because next turn I can play Farfinder and get an untapped land. They play the island. I will block Farfinder if they attack. Alright, I'll take the 2. What is going on? Alright, draw a card. I think at this point I have to Dismember. Their deck is sweet, by the way. Let's just Dismember this dude. What is that? Do this. Pay life. Then 1. Okay. Skeleton is good. So let's go Farfinder. This guarantees I get an untapped land the following turn. And I have everything but blue. So I guess I'll get... actually, double red is kind of hard for me as well. We'll get a mountain. And I can play the Windscarred Crag to gain a bit of life. And pass turn. And we just gotta like... set up. They're probably going to Glimmerpoint Stag now. 1, 2, 3. Or they're saving it to hit Tristani's Summoner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They've just been drawing a million cards every turn, so it's not going well. Oh my gosh. Their opening hand had none of these. Okay. Take 2. They drew a ninja as well? Maybe? Or are they saying something? Nope, they just drew a ninja or they had to go do something. Okay, so how am I beating this? Because Tristani's Summoner plus Soul Herder is just absolutely unbeatable. Even just blinking Elite Guard Mage is gross. Alright, the question is, do I think they have counter magic or anything of the sort? Because I really would like to just play Murderous Redcap and kill the Soul Herder, but that is quite risky. So I think we're going to play it safe and just kill this right now by sacking the Visionary. This way, if they have Ephemerate, I can still kill the creature in response. If I go for reassembling skeleton, they counter the skeleton. I only have 2 mana up, and then or they have ephemerate in response to the skeleton hit. I only have 2 mana up, and I can't do anything. Yeah, exactly this reason. So they get Elite Guard Mage back, but they've used Ghostly Flicker. I'm super dead. Their deck is literally everything you could hope for out of this archetype. They were oh my gosh, their deck. I mean, they drew pretty well, but their deck just looks disgusting. They have it all. Soul Herder, Glimmer Point, Summoner, Guard Mage, Farfinder. It's kind of sweet. And then we can play an untapped land that doesn't really do anything, so let's just play Savage Lands. Give myself the most colored mana next turn. We can have 6 mana, so Tristani Summoner makes a 2/2, 3/3, and a 4/4. Okay. That's a lot. I take 3, fall to 7. How do I do this? I have to kill the Summoner before the Glimmer Points tag. I have to play an untapped land here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I think I'm certainly casting this red cap. Question is, what do I target? I think I'm going to target the Rhino token, then sacrifice the red cap to weaponize the monsters. When it comes back, have the 1/1 kill the Summoner. Then I can chump block the Centaur and take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and go to 3 next turn. Otherwise, I'm going to have a hard time dealing with the Rhino token. I think this is the play. This kills this. If they have Vesper Lark or whatever, there's the creature that's evoke and it's like return a creature with power toughness 1 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. If they have that, we are like unbelievably dead. But we killed the Trampler. Like, this sets us up to like maybe start surviving next turn. We can abrade like the Centaur or the Glimmer Point Stag. I guess we just died a Glimmer Point Stag on my red cap, don't we? But they didn't see that line. We block here. They have more? Oh my gosh. All right, we need to be aggressive. That was like almost the identically perfect. That was like almost the perfect curve. Like if you couldn't draw it up any other way. All right, we need to be a lot more aggressive. Average swipe probably needs to get in. All the removal, as much removal as possible. And what am I getting rid of? Timely reinforcements. I think I'm okay with that. Which means I can cut up plains for a forest. Not going to be easy. Is there anything else like maybe Carrion Feeder that I would like? I think we're okay. Alright, deck. Can I... You know what? We'll keep the 5-lander. Given the way my deck has been before, I don't know if I can take my chances. So I can sack this for green, and then we can play turn 2 Cutthroat. I guess I'll not show them what I'm getting, because this is all my colors now. Also, their deck is like unbeatable if they have the draws, which they did last game. Ooh, Dismember is good. Alright, Cutthroat. Next turn, Merchant. No plays. I like that. We can get ahead of ourselves. Let's attack for 1, holding up Dismember and see what happens. Because if they like flash in a creature, then I'm going to want to Dismember and then play Kitchen Finks. As it currently stands, I think I'm just going to play the Merchant. Because next turn I can sack the treasure to play something, or just play Kitchen Finks with the Merchant out would be good. Okay, Pride Mage isn't a huge problem, but it does make me more inclined to, well, just chain lightning the Pride Mage, I guess. And I can play Kitchen Finks. I guess the question is, do I want to play a long game or a slow game? I can stack the treasure for a card. I think I want to play it like in between. I want to have a continuous stream of card advantage. So like sacking the treasure to draw a card, playing Finks, sacking the Finks to draw a card, like all of that seems probably what I want to be doing. Or honestly, right now I'm just holding up Dismember for the Elite Guard Mage or whatever they might have. Seagate Oracle. Their deck is so good. Holy cow. This does become a problem with some amount of wait. Sacrifice a creature. Okay, so I just do this and then I choose the treasure. Nice. This does become a problem with some amount of Peasant Cubes where like just Blink, Ephemerate, Mold Drifters, things like that often end up being the best deck. The benefit is they are weak to removal, so we can do some things. Let's play Kitchen Finks, still holding up Dismember. And we have no attacks. But now we have, I mean, this is why I'm going for the more cards things. Like, if we can disrupt, like if they have Soul Hoarder next turn, we kill that. Then we can Ardent Elementalist, back Dismember, kill their next thing. Start drawing cards off Kitchen Fink, Skullport Merchant, and, you know, Eternal Taskmaster, getting back Kitchen Fink seems good too. Because their deck does not have a lot of removal. Well, hopefully. I don't know. They could have like Swords and Path. Okay. That one's definitely something. Do I dismember the Cloud Blazer? The answer is no. Ooh, there's a Braid. So I want to go Eternal Taskmaster. So let's attack with the Finks and see what happens there. Okay, they take 3. I like that. Play the Taskmaster. And now I have a Braid plus Dismember. Yep, they have Coiling Oracle. Their deck is so scary. It's just all dudes that are good with Ghostly Flicker. Eldrazi Sky Spawner. Alright, there's the Soul Herder. So they could have Ephemerate, so we need to be careful. Let's go for a Braid first. See if that resolves. Alright, I'll take 2 of the Cloud Blazer. Or do I just... You know what? Let's get greedy. If they had Ephemerate, they would have cast it there. This just clears the board. I'm not taking damage. Now I can Ardent Elementalist back Dismember. And then I have the loop of Elementalist, Taskmaster, Skullport Merchant. Attack with these dudes. Cascade into Elvish Visionary, sure. Oh, non-stop value. But if I kill the engines, I don't even know if I was supposed to kill Cloud Blazer, but it was attacking me in the air, and if they had like Ninja, that could get really bad. Okay, that guy's fine. Just a 3-2. They're down to 11. Like, their life total is not that high. Ooh, Savage Swipe is really good. If its power is 2, it gets +2/+2. Then it fights target creature you don't control. This turns into a 2-1 flyer, but 3-2 blocks really well, so I think I want to prevent that. So you are going to kill this. Then this is 3, so they just have to block it with 2 to save it. I think I want a Skittering Surveyor for a land, actually. Grab our land. It's going to be, I suppose, Island, because I think I got rid of Treasure Cruise. I did, but I kept the island. Who knows why? Play the swamp. Then move to combat. We can attack with Kitchen Finks, Ardent Elementalist. Maybe Eternal Taskmaster. Maybe. They would have to block it with Shardless Agent. That's a pretty free trade for them, I think. So we'll just wait and attack like this. Because basically Taskmaster getting back Elementalist is really good. And we're just going to let that die. Because I want to hold up Dismember. Opponent loses 2 life. Get our Finks back, we go up to 24. I mean, they have 5 cards in hand, but if they don't have removal, then Eternal Taskmaster does get back Elementalist, Elementalist gets back Dismember. And this goes to the battlefield, right? No, to your hand? Okay, that's actually really slow. I didn't realize it was that slow. Here comes the Owlbear. And this Sky Spawner. Alright, so I think end of turn we're just going to dismember the Owlbear. Taking 2. Now we can attack with Taskmaster and Kitchen Finks. Gonna get him back. Pay 3. There could have been some consideration for just getting back the Kitchen Finks, like sacrificing it pre-combat because they just block with Seagate Oracle. But the Seagate Oracle also makes some easy like triple blocks on the Eternal Taskmaster, so yeah, like this I think is something they might want to do. Well, I'll take this. These die. That goes through. Seems reasonable to me. They go down 1. Let's sacrifice this and make a treasure. Or draw a card. They go down to 5. Ooh, the Awakener's really good. Play that. Play 8. Oh, I can't. Archway Common sucks. I need to cut that card from my deck. So now here comes the Tristani Summoner or Glimmer Point Stag on the Sky Spawner. Okay, that's fine. They have a 3-3. I mean, that is kind of big. I only have 2 cards in hand. I mean, I think this could be good for me. Oh, just casting him? Sure, sure, sure. They get to dig 2 off Seagate or whatever. So we're gonna attack with Skittering Surveyor and Ecstatic Awakener. They have to block Ecstatic Awakener. Actually, are they dead? Let me think about this. I swing out. They block here, here, and here. They're gonna take 3. If I had played Ardent Elementalist pre-combat, I think they were actually just straight up dead. Can I attack like this? They block like these 2 on this. This goes here. They take 1, 2, 3. And then they die to Chain Lightning. Yeah, I think I just attack. Actually, I can swing out, right? I have Chain Lightning. Yeah, okay, they just die. Okay, okay, nice, nice. Okay, we beat the deck at least one time. I will take that. Get out of here, Island. Goblin Heel Cutter is very tempting as well, as is Carrion Feeder. I think I'm gonna get rid of one of these things, probably the Farfinder for the Heel Cutter. And then Carrion Feeder is also tempting just because it's like a free sack outlet. And I don't know how much I want this 5 mana 4/6. So I can do that and then add a swamp. This keeps my deck much cheaper. Oh, I also get rid of Archway Commons for literally anything, a mountain. Yeah, I think I like that better. Just all removal and all aggression. All right, we'll run it like that. Ah, good thing I paused it. I don't need Prismari Campus anymore, so I can cut that for a mountain. I don't just look at my tapped lands now, because I want to be relatively aggressive. I think we're okay now. We're basically black-red with like a very light splash. If I win against this deck, I'll be very happy. I think my deck is pretty good. I've struggled with drawing like a land quantity that's proper. I haven't really struggled with hitting colored mana. It's just, can I draw 2 lands? Or not start with 5 lands in my opener? There we go. That's a hand. I can keep that. Okay. Another reason to not Gitaxian Probe turn 1 is it just frustrates you. When you see, your opponent drew all good cards when they kept a bad hand. There is some consideration to probing here because I could draw one of my 1-drops. So I guess I will do that. So they have the Summoner, Ghostly Flicker, Seagate, Talisman, Sky Spawner. So they're going to play Talisman and just hope for the best. I'm okay with that, I guess. So now we have mana. We can play the Skullport Merchant on curve or Pilgrim's Eye or whatever. They play Forest Talisman. Okay, they hit Watcher. Actually, I guess it makes sense they would hit things, right? They can Watcher. They must have... Actually, no, I don't know why they did that. They couldn't have drawn a land. Red cap. So let's go Swamp. Pass turn. Yeah, they just naturally drew the land. All right. I mean, it happens. But it's just a weird play because they could have... Like, this doesn't give them the land in hand. So they could have played Talisman of Unity and then guaranteed that they set up the rest of their turns. But they just chose not to and just got lucky instead. Which, it is a play. Now they play the Sky Spawner. Okay, so next turn. So Sky Spawner down, so we know their hand exactly again. Yeah, what if they didn't hit a land that turn? Did they just take a whole turn off? Ooh, Bombardment's actually fairly good against them. So I think we're actually going to go Bombardment into Golgari Rot Farm. Bouncing this Swamp so I can have double red if I need it. Mostly the reason for this play is it guarantees I can have 4 mana next turn. And having Bombardment in play like kills their 2/1, it kills their Scion. It makes Ghostly Flicker hard. Next turn I can do something like Pilgrim's Eye plus Chain Lightning. Okay, they draw the land. It does enter tapped. They're just going to attack and hold up Ghostly Flicker? Or are they just going to flicker the Spawner and the Watcher maybe? Really? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess they're just hoping to hit 7 mana? Their plays this game have been very confusing to me. I don't quite know what to make of them. Yeah, very strange. What am I gonna do? I mean, I kind of want to get red cap in play. I can red cap the Eldrazi Scion token, but I think I'm just gonna kill the Sky Spawner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If they top deck an untapped land, I guess they can play the Summoner, but I actually have the tools to deal with that. So I think I'm just going to take the hit this turn, red cap down their flyer, And now I can protect myself against Ghostly Flicker with Goblin Bombardment plus Red Cap. I'm going to take the hit for 2 off the Watcher on their turn because I don't want like their 7th land to be under here. I know their hand exactly, so there's no counter magic or anything. Their plays have just been really weird. Like if they Talisman turn 2, then they're guaranteed stuff. I don't know. Pass turn. Again, we could kill both of these by sacking this, but I don't want to give them whatever card is under Watcher for tomorrow. At least just yet. Okay, they draw the Soul Herder with Ghostly Flicker available. Fairly good draw. I guess I'll let them attack first. And we'll put a stop on their second main phase. Okay, this works. So now we can block here. And then force their hand. If we let this trade go through, let me think about this. If I try and Goblin Bombardment targeting Soul Herder, they're going to Ghostly Flicker Watcher and Soul Herder in response by sacking the Eldrazi Scion. If I just let this go through, they trade and then their Ghostly Flicker isn't that good. I think I'm just going to do this. Then this kills Soul Herder. Now they can Ghostly Flicker. It doesn't do a whole lot. Yeah, now they lose their Ghostly Flicker, and now I can just sacrifice Murderous Redcap to kill their Soul Herder. That went really, really well. And they're tapped out for the turn. Yeah, okay. I think my opponent maybe had the tools to win that. It's a difficult deck to play, though, so I totally understand there's going to be misplays. But I'm shocked that I won it. We're in the finals. See you guys there. All right, in the finals, the Alec effect. We're in the play. What is with this deck? I'm gonna mulligan. Okay, there's a hand. We don't have black mana. We're gonna keep this. And I'm actually gonna bottom this island. I probably just shouldn't be playing the island, so that one is on me. At this point, the colored mana is like causing me problems. And I'm okay with that. I'm willing to come to terms with that. Of course, we instantly hit perfect mana now. Let's play Visionary first because it gives me a bit more info. Actually, that doesn't make sense. I was supposed to go... Well, it worked out. I was supposed to do different things. Because I could have gone Cutthroat that turn and then Ecstatic Awakener into Visionary the following turn. That's just better sequencing. Sometimes you just get really lucky, though. Okay, they're like super ramp. Dismember is interesting. I think I want to play the Awakener. I don't know. The Cutthroat's also going to be pretty good. I think I just get down the Cutthroat and hit them for 2. That way, if I Dismember thing on their turn, I guess this is not Blood Artist, but basically Cutthroat into Gravecrawler or Awakener will be better. It's also probably the card that most matters to get through Counter Magic, aside from the Gravecrawler, which I didn't have mana for. Okay, you can Tidings. That's scary, but they're discarding 2 cards to hand size right now. Spectral Sailor, sure. Do I Dismember the Sailor? It does represent quite a bit of card draw for them. I think I actually do. Okay, Murderous Cut is good too. So let's swing out. And I think I'm just going to play this Awakener. And I may or may not sacrifice the Treasure Token and Visionary to turn this into a 4/4. Because if I sacrifice the Visionary, I'll have exactly enough mana to cast Murderous Cut next turn. And they'll go down to 11, and then I have 6 power in play, so it puts them down to 5. And I have a Chain Lightning, so they're close to dead if I do that, and they don't have anything crazy here. They do have 8 cards in hand, so not likely. Interesting, no plays. Alright, not gonna do anything then. I draw a Braid. A Braid's decent. I'm gonna swing out and just see what happens. I have a Braid, I have Murderous Cut, I have Sacrifice. They take some damage. I guess I'll pass. I don't want to run into counter magic or anything. Basically, like the thing I've noticed is against opponents, Rail's Outburst. 3 damage to any target. So now I could just sacrifice this guy. They don't get to draw cards. Seems good. And I draw a Swamp, which is also great. Okay, that went fine for me. I mean, I lose my Cutthroat. That's a little bit annoying, but that's more annoying. I see. They just wanted me to tap out so they could control magic. Ooh, weaponize the monsters is fairly strong as well. I have a lot of options here. Let's see if I can get in for damage. Let's play our swamp first. I mean, it's just a 4/4. I have Murderous Cut and a Braid up right now. I can sack the Visionary to try and draw into something. They have 5 cards in hand. I think with Weaponize the Monsters, I'm just gonna cast that. Oh, Memory Lapse is gross there. They don't have the red mana. Alright, that's fine. I can Murderous Cut the Awoken Demon now that they're tapped lower. But honestly, I think I would rather... Well, yeah, actually that makes sense. Kill this. Okay, they get back Mnemonic Wall. They can get back Rails Outburst, kill my Visionary. Or they can get back Memory Lapse, but then I just don't have to cast anything into it. I think I will sack this Visionary though. Okay, Pilgrim's Eye. Memory Lapse is one of the worst things I could experience here. This is me getting color screwed, so this is my own fault. Yeah, this is where we slowly die now. Hamster's Insight, yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe it was really bad to sacrifice my creature. It can Memory Lapse my thing. I do just have to cast it because I need to use my mana. They counter it, they put it back, then I do this for red, and then my hand opens up, and actually, if I can resolve Weaponize the Monsters, I do start winning. Okay. Oh. They just hard counter. Alright. So I'm thinking, if I'd left Elvish Visionary in play, I would just be dead. Okay. Is this to any target? Oh, just to a creature. I mean, we're pretty much dead. Okay, that helps. So let's lead with Pilgrim's Eye. We're trying to bait a Memory Lapse. So the Kempster's Insight kill my Pilgrim's Eye before I can sack. Pretty solid play. Grab a mountain. We can play Savage Lands. And now we're doing something. I mean, again, they could easily have like 500 counterspells here. They've drawn all of their deck. We lose our Merchant, but they're using Fire Spout now, which I think is good. Into a Thought Courier. So they have Memory Lapse, a land, and 2 unknowns. And they could crack Hedron Archive if they wanted. Alright, let's go Mountain. They know about this one, so I guess I will cast it. They have Negate. Okay. Do I even want to get this Memory Lapsed? Not particularly. Alright, we'll pass. Them not cracking Hedron Archive is scary. Look how much mana they have. I mean, they could deck themselves, I guess. Take 2. I think right now they're going to deck out before anything goes... I think they deck out before I die currently. I mean, obviously they probably have more Winkins in their deck, but they need to act first. That would do it. Getting back Tidings. Oh, I hope they get back Tidings. Getting back Negate. They have Memory Lapse Negate. I guess we let them have Negate. Okay, I think we are on the deck them strategy. They only have 8 cards left in their deck. I'm clearly not going to win off damage. I mean, I could sneak a win with Chain Lightning, but that's super unlikely. I'm guessing I'm going to get killed by a kicked Fight with Fire. Now we force the Abrade. They just let that go through. That's scary. Finks is good. 1, 2, 3. Kitchen Finks. Finks resolves. I mean, we're going to go for the Gravecrawler. It's not going to work, but... Exclude, ping the Finks. Okay. I mean, it forces them to draw, which is something. The Finks gains me life, which is also something. If they don't have another spell here, Finks survives, which is also something. They do have a spell. Okay, I'm at 13. I'm taking 2 damage per turn for 6 turns at the moment. Repulse, bounce the... Oh, Repulse on Mnemonic Wall is gross, but they have to draw a card every time. Mnemonic Wall gets back Exclude. How are they winning? I don't actually know if their deck can win. So let's Chain Lightning the Thought Courier. That just snap resolves. We can play the Taskmaster. They exclude, they go down to 4 cards in deck. I mean, I don't know. They might have a win con. I haven't seen it yet. That looks like a win. It's got to be kicked fight with fire. Yeah, okay. I did call it earlier. So I'm not beating that, but that is lethal. All right, so now I know their deck can win from that position. I also know I want to be as aggressive as possible. So bring this in. Heel Cutter's pretty good. Reckless Waif, Bone Splitter. We can cut Timely Reinforcements, Island, Treasure Cruise. Basically how I should have built the deck the first time. Prismari Campus, Plains. Do I cut green for Visionary Sphinx? I think green is actually pretty good. I also have quite a few fixing colors. I'm going to cut Farfinder. How much removal do I need? Not a lot. I think Chain Lightning being able to go face is interesting, but being able to only go face is pretty rough. Also, I basically just want instant speed. So I'm going to cut that. This lets me go up to 16 lands, which is probably where I'm looking to be. Black, red, red. Chain Lightning might be better than like Murderous Cut or a Braid. I could just see a world where Murderous Cut sits in hand. I'm going to take Chain Lightning. Run it like that. Always the 5-landers. I think because I drafted this deck, I have to keep this. And we're going to Evolving Wilds for a swamp. Also, I think if I had killed their 1/4, there is a world in which they couldn't win. Like if I just stay above 10 life the whole time, that would be interesting. Are they mulliganing? Maybe. Alright, opponent did mulligan after quite a bit of deliberation. We're going to hit it off with Evolving Wilds. They're all going to enter tapped. I have City of Brass for like perfect mana. So we're going to do that, and we're going to get a swamp, because I do have a double black card. Okay, I can play Archway Commons. The worst land in my deck, but the best land to draw specifically there. Then I can Skittering Surveyor to get just perfect mana in this very, very aggressive... Oh no. In this very aggressive start that I was aiming for. Did I draw 2 lands? I think I did. Let's go, I guess, Mountain. Basically, I kept a 5-lander because, if I draw spells, I'm in good shape. Oh, they have Weaver of Lightning already. I'm pretty much dead now if I draw a land. Alright, there's a Braid. So, I can attack. Then a Braid the Weaver if they block. They're not going to. Oh, they might. Okay. It's actually really good to kill. Then I can play Savage Lands. And pass turn. Man, I even paused to cough and I'm still... Throat's going ham. So now I can Ardent Elementalist for a Braid. I have 8 lands. Pilgrim's Eye. Alright, this is the mana fixing I was looking for. So we can attack for 1. I'm probably not winning this fight, especially not with this attitude. I would much rather have Pilgrim's Eye get excluded than Ardent Elementalist, so let's just run into it. And if it doesn't get excluded, it does have flying, so that is somewhat relevant to this. Let's grab our forest and play our tapped land. Like, they kind of know we're flooding out now, which is unfortunate. Does this put it into the graveyard? Oh, I did not know that went into your graveyard. Alright. They have Spectral Sailor, so we do want to kill that one. They could have Sailor plus Exclude, which would be pretty rough. But we're drawing only lands. So, I don't know. I guess I have to play this land first. No I don't, because if they counter this, then I'm just going to play the Rot Farm. Okay, there's no way I could have played around that. Play the Rot Farm, bounce the life gain land, I guess. I don't know, sometimes you keep a 5-lander and draw 5 lands in a row. It just happens. Yeah, there's Tidings plus Spectral Sailor. If we don't draw an answer to Spectral Sailor, we're dead. And if we do draw an answer to Spectral Sailor, we're still dead. Yeah, like, Dismember is fine. It doesn't really help me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, like, so I could Dismember the Spectral. I guess I have to. But it, like... Kill this. If I don't kill this, they're just going to draw cards and kill me. If I do kill it, my hand is all lands. But as long as they have no, like, in-play repeatable card advantage, there's a chance. Of course, they have that card now. Yeah, I don't know. But, like, but the thing is, they could have just not played that, right? Gulfport Merchant is okay. If they counter it, I'm probably going to concede. Basically, like, if I don't kill the Spectral Sailor, I know they could have Murmuring Mystic or whatever, like, you can play around it. But if I don't kill it, they just don't play Murmuring Mystic. They hold up Spectral Sailor and counter magic. And then if I play stuff, they counter it. If they don't, they draw cards. Yeah, all right, we're going to concede. Good games, opponent. Super unfortunate ending. I mean, the deck was fighting me the whole way with specifically just quantity of lands. Colored mana was only somewhat of an issue. But let's go to the deck. So things that would change. The white Timely Reinforcements was really bad. That was just going off my understanding of most Peasant cubes, which are like hyper aggressive. This one seems to be less just turbo aggro. Yeah, this was just a metagame call that was just wrong. It is not what the cube is, but it's worth trying. This one seems to be more synergy based and drafting really strong strategies, which I like. I think I'm going to draft this cube a lot. But 2-1, not bad for the first draft of the deck. The cube, see you guys next time. If you made it this far into the video, you're clearly enjoying the content. So if you want to help support me being able to make more content, there's 2 ways to do it. The first is free and very easy, just following me on Instagram. You get, to see cool stuff like this cat made out of trees or this dog that's an island. Some very interesting or trippy videos like this one, which it's not for everybody. The other one is just going to my store. I sell art like the ones I've shown. So there's a lot of cool stuff there. You can shop the collections and see things like this. I'm selling t-shirts. And I would really appreciate it. Thank you.